Hey everybody, and welcome back after the summer. I hope you've had a good break and that you're ready to start a brand new project, which should be really interesting, really fun. So you've already been looking at your reignition curriculum parts, and I'm sure you've heard that term being passed around by your teachers. So you've done your first 2 weeks of activities just to get you back into the swing, and now we're going to start the project on kinetic energy. That's going to be based around working with a charity called Mind to create a device that uses kinetic energy to raise money and raise awareness for Mind as a charity. So let's have a look at what we need to get done. So it's going to be a 5-week project, and your driving question is going to deal with how can you use kinetic energy to raise awareness and support for local charities. So this video is going to go here that you can come back to and watch anytime you want. Your assessment objectives, because of the reignition curriculum, we're going to be looking at each assessment objective and testing you on each of them throughout the 5-week project that you have. In the first week, we'll be introducing you to the project and analysing the brief. And there's a really good video here on the charity Mind, which we're going to be focusing on, that you can be looking through and just seeing what it's all about. Let's go back. So with your teachers, what you're going to be doing is just exploring what the charities are, explaining in your own words what the brief is asking you to do, and then creating a mind map of products that use kinetic energy. So like there's loads of things you can think of. So if you think, I think I've showed some of you my watch last year, which is really cool. So in week 1 again, we're going to be expanding on what kinetic energy is, looking at this formula here, which is going to be really important, and then looking at the different types of kinetic energy that there are. So you've got hydro energy, you've got wind energy. So you'll be looking at those videos, answering those questions, and then looking at this with a particular focus on what we could potentially use for a charity would be a bicycle smoothie and how it works. So a really good video here. And then this image below, you can annotate and explain how it works. But then I also want you thinking about what other products could you use for a fundraising event. Week 2 is basically going to be dealing with sketching. So you look at the different types of motion, sketch them out, and you're going to be looking at the different ideas and sketching down your final designs towards the end. But first, you're looking at different types of mechanisms, and then you're going to be looking at how you can incorporate these mechanisms into your designs. So it's going to be important that when you're sketching out your ideas that you take into account the mechanisms that you use, and that it's going to be aimed at a fundraising event. So it needs to be like attractive or appealing to the person who wants to use it. It basically makes someone want to be involved and use your product. So then you choose one of these designs as your final design and discuss why it's unique, why you chose it, how does it work, and what material you're going to use to prototype it. Then once you have your final design chosen, you're going to be looking at 3D sketching techniques using 1-point and 2-point perspectives, and completing the tasks here and here, and watching the videos as you see fit. They're really good videos actually to help you with your sketching techniques and your practice. Then what you need to do again in week 2 is using A3 paper or A4 if you don't have A3, a 2-point perspective drawing of your final design on paper with annotation and color, and then uploading, taking a picture of your image and uploading it into this place here. Because in week 3 we're going to be looking at prototyping your design, and first we're going to be looking at different ways of prototyping and how you can prototype different types of energy examples. So we're looking at wind power examples, hydropower examples, and pedal power examples there. Then you're going to be thinking about, before you start making, a plan of what you need to do, and you're going to use a comic book strip style plan or production plan of what you need to do to make your design. So remember, a production plan outlines each step that you need to do and the health and safety considerations that you need to take into account when you make your product. So again, you're going to draw this out on paper and you're going to upload your images here. Again, use color where you can. It's going to be so important. And then you'll be ready for prototyping. So what you can do is you can look at getting started, getting your materials, getting everything ready, and then taking pictures at each stage of your make. And then once you do that, at each point of it, explaining what you've done at each stage. From there, you're going to be looking at taking a picture of your final prototype and then taking a video of your final prototype showing it working. And then hopefully we can get it ready for an actual fundraising event, which would be really cool. Week 4 is about reflecting on your work. So we're going to again be looking at the assessment objectives and seeing how many of these boxes can you tick off. Like really giving it some thought into, have you learned these statements? Like, have you done these within your project? And then you're going to be reflecting in terms of what your prototype can do in terms of how it can help a charity like Mind, what went well, how can you improve your design and why. If you could organize an event for a charity, what type of event would it be? How would you organize it? And then focusing on the skills you've developed and what you enjoyed most about the project. To finish, on week 4, you're going to be sketching some improvements to your design. So remember, it's a prototype, which means that there are always going to be some improvements. So maybe have a chat with the people on your table and see what they would do to improve your design and vice versa. And then once you have it done, again, you sketch it on paper and upload your image here. Week 5 is basically going to be an assessment, where you click on this link here, like so, and it will take you to a Google Forms doc, and you fill in your details and answer the assessment as follows. I'm not going to scroll down because I'll just show you the answers, which we don't want to do. And here is pretty much the end of your project, and congratulations on what you've learned in developing a kinetic energy product aimed at helping a worthwhile charity. So it's quite a fun project, and it's quite new. So what we want you to do is just really get involved and really put some research and make it. And remember, when you're prototyping, always to plan first. But the most important thing is talk with each other and see what you can do and have some fun when you're at it. Be as creative as you can. So enjoy.